You are getting ready to buy or sell a house in Georgia and radon comes up. Let's talk about that. Hi, my name is Tonya Byrd and I am a realtor here in the great state of Georgia. And today we're talking about radon. We're talking about it because most of the time when I mention radon, people don't even know what it is. We're going to look at what it is, why you should be concerned about radon, how to test for the levels of radon, and then what to do if you have high levels so that you have a safe and healthy home. So let's dive in. So radon is an odorless, tasteless, invisible radioactive gas. It's a natural breakdown of uranium in the soil, water, and rocks. And if you go to the EPA's website, they have a map of the entire United States, and radon can be found all over the United States. And of course, the EPA suggests that everyone test for radon no matter what zone they're in. There are 3 zones. There's zone 1, which is the heaviest concentration, then 2, and then 3. And what you'll notice when you look at the EPA's map is that the higher radon levels within the US, zone 1, tends to be around mountain ranges, and that makes sense. I mean, after all, here in the greater Atlanta area, we're in zone 1 and zone 2, so there's higher concentrations here. And that makes sense. We're at the foothills of the Appalachian Mountain Range. It starts in Georgia and goes all the way to Maine. And it's very hilly in this area, and it's not uncommon to see rocks in people's yards, whether they're still embedded in the ground or whether they're just big boulders sticking up because when they built the house, they pulled the rock out and it's now part of the landscape. So why should we be concerned about radon? Well, number 1, because it's radioactive, and exposure to things that are radioactive isn't good. And it is the 2nd leading cause of lung cancer, right behind smoking. And then, of course, the EPA estimates that radon can be accounted for around 21,000 deaths a year due to the exposure of it. So how does radon get into a house? Well, it can get into many different ways. It can get in through a crack in your slab. It could get in through builder joints, through flooring cracks, where pipes come into houses, like all those little entry points. And it can happen in a house that has a basement, a crawl space, or a slab. It doesn't matter, it can all get in. So the next thing you should do is you should test for radon. And there are some easy ways to do this. You can either go to the hardware store or go on Amazon and buy some in-home kit do-it-yourself testing, or you can hire someone to test. Now, when you do the testing, it needs to be on the lowest level of the house. So if you're in a basement house, then it needs to be in the basement. And if you have a crawl space or a slab, then the testing kit needs to be placed on that first level. Keep it away from areas which has high traffic. So you don't want to set up your test and it be near where a door is opening constantly, or be where people are walking by constantly, because that can make your results be skewed. Because the more that the air moves around the test kits, the more skewed the test will be. So find a nice place that there's not a lot of movement, and of course follow the instructions. And if you hire somebody, then they will set it up for you and you don't have to worry. To get a radon test from somebody who you hire is usually $150 or so, and the test lasts for 48 hours. So when you get the test back, it will give you results in picocuries, and that is 1 picocurie to every liter of air is what the measurement is. Now in the outside world, when you're out and about, 0.4 picocuries is what's out in the natural air. And inside, the EPA estimates that on average, a house will have 1.3 picocuries. Now, the EPA says that if it's consistently above 2 and between that 4 area, you may want to get a remediation done. And if it's over 4 picocuries on average, then you absolutely need to have remediation done. Now, remediation is fairly simple. You hire somebody who is a specialist in this. They will find the perfect spot to put the system. And the system's like a fan vacuum system in which it moves the air around. And as long as the air is moving around in a house, it can reduce the levels of the radon that could settle into a house. And then once they put the unit in, they can come back out and test to see if the levels have been dropped. And the EPA actually estimates that a good remediation system can bring down the levels of radon to 2 picocuries, which is more at a safer level. These radon mediation systems usually run around $2,000, give or take, so it's not astronomical to remediate radon. Now, if you're in the greater Atlanta area and you need to know of a radon specialist, or you want to hire one of those people to come in and do a test for you, let me know. I'll be glad to make that connection for you. And of course, if you're ready to buy or sell, let me be your agent. I'd be glad to help you out and make sure that whether you're selling, we know everything about the house that we need to know. And if you're buying, then you know that you are buying a safe house that doesn't have high levels of radon. I hope you found this information informative and helpful, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Are you digging the kind of content I'm producing? Then be sure to watch this next video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That way, you'll be in the know when I release my next video.